Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.
Peace, family. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who we believe came in the person of Master Father Muhammad. We thank him for raising up for us the living and exalted Christ, the first begotten of the dead, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I thank those two for teaching and raising up for us and leaving for us a divine warner and guide in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's in their three names. I would like to greet us in the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to be listening to a video I did on dealing with hard times, how to handle trials. How many of us right now are going through trials? Just comment me if you're going through a trial, a tribulation, a troubled time that you're having a hard time maybe dealing with, that you're having a hard time maybe, navigating. I wanted to share this replay because I don't know, I just feel like it's going to hit somebody, it's going to touch somebody. And I want to share this with you. The Quran says, seek comfort through patience and prayer. And the minister said that we're not born with patience, right? So that patience has to be acquired. And as I began to the other day look up the definition of patience, the definitions of patience says the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. We're going to read that again now. Here we go. Well, let me give you another definition of it. It says the quality of being patient as the bearing of provocation, annoyance, misfortune, or pain without complaint, loss of temper, irritation, or the like. So the thought that came to my mind was that we can't even express or practice patience without delays. We can't even prove to ourselves that we have patience without a delay, without trouble, without suffering, without getting angry or upset. And so in order for me not to get angry, not to be upset, not to have a complaint, something needs to change in my mind. And the only way for me to practice my jump shots is to shoot another shot. So I know there's a lot of things that goes on in our life that we may be dissatisfied with, disappointed with, but these are all, if we just think about it with another attitude, these are all opportunities for us to practice not getting irritated, to practice not getting angry, to practice not getting upset. Because in those moments of not getting upset, not getting angry, not being irritated, that is the real definition of patience. See, I believe that I had patience wrong growing up. I thought patience just meant you waiting for a long time. So many of us say, well, I've been patient for a long time. Have you? If you've been complaining, you ain't been patient. If you've been irritated, you have not been patient. If we've been upset, we have not been patient. We just been waiting. That's what we've been doing. We've been waiting. We haven't been patient. So the Quran says, seek it through patience and prayer. Patience and prayer. And so for me to have patience, real definition of patience, I have to change my mind about what's going on in my life. I wanted it today. Damn, I wanted it today. But you telling me it's going to come in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? You telling me, Allah, I got to wait a year? I wanted things to change this month. You telling me I got to wait 6 months? Yeah. Seek refuge. Come on now. Patience and prayer. So I wanted to share this with us just to recalibrate our minds and show us our development. Many of us think, oh man, I'm developed, I'm patient. And when we hear that definition, we all probably seen, damn, I haven't been patient at all. I actually haven't been patient at all. So hopefully today's message will, just bring us a step closer to where God wants us to be in our own self-development. So let me pull the message up. And if you are new here this morning, as you're listening to us, I want you to take notes, think about what stands out for you, and we would love to hear from you at the end to see what your perspective is. All right, let's get to it.
Assalamu alaikum, family. It's your brother Ben X. Welcome back to the Brother Ben Speaks or Brother Ben X podcast. Today, I just want to talk about a topic, something that I'm sure all of us are going through, which is how to overcome hard trials. Because many of us every day are going through hard trials. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care, your status, your religion, your lineage. All of us are going through trials. And sometimes, man, we never take the time because there's so much content is going out there, how to make money, how to do this, and how to do that. It's like, man, it's so much I got to learn. It's so much I got to accomplish. It's so much I got to do to where I never can find time to say, time out. Let me look at my life and look at what's going on with my mind and get my mind together. So today we're going to talk about how we should be thinking and how to overcome the hard trials in our life. Because as the minister said, man, there was a great preacher one day that said, at every level is a new devil. So if we go solve the problems with everything on the outside, if we go solve problems with everything everywhere else, but don't solve the problem inside, everything that we're striving to build and do is going to be destroyed because we, as black men and women, are going to remain underdeveloped. So before I get started with this video and share what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, if you guys are interested in getting an alert, tapping in offline whenever I talk about things like this, just text the word nation to 833-276-7174. I'm going to say it one more time just to get on the list, just in case, hey, I want to tap in every time you talking about this specifically, Brother Ben, the teaching, something helping us, self-improvement, give me a text. Text the word nation to 833-276-7174. Now, share this with your friends and your family, by the way. If you know anybody going through something, and I think there's going to be a podcast that's going to really help them out. Now, what I want to talk about is this. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was asked a question. And the question was about, or not asked a question, but he was asked to, can you pray for me? And the minister kind of went on, man, and what he said, I feel like was so comforting that I want to share with other people. So we're going to hop right into it. Let's check it out.
Brother Minister, would you please keep a prayerful thought for me and my family? We are in desperate need of Allah's grace. Yes, sister. You have Allah's grace. No matter what you're going through, there's a way to look at some of the problems and trials of life. If you look at it rightly, you can go through it more easily. There's not one person in this room that has not, young or old, come upon some hard times. There are times when it's so rough till you may not think you can make it another day. How many of you have experienced times like that in your young life already? You have? Yeah. And if you haven't, don't worry. If you live long enough, you sure gonna run into this. Nobody lives perpetually happy in this world. God is so wise in the way He has ordered life. He has ordered life that we must experience the opposites in order to appreciate the good. If you don't experience evil, you don't know how to appreciate good. If you don't experience sadness, you really don't know how to appreciate joy. Do you understand? If you don't appreciate life, you can never appreciate death. And if you don't appreciate what death is, you cannot understand what life is. And so God has ordained that we just have to go through this. That's it. And the only people that don't go through this are the people that don't come to birth or don't live to a certain age of maturity. But there are children right now, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, with certain kinds of diseases that are experiencing pain on a level that some of us have not experienced pain. And they are coping with it. Do you understand? Showing you that this is what life is all about. My son-in-law learned last night that his cousin in Detroit, a young girl, 17 years old and pregnant, was walking across the street, maybe not thinking about where she was going. She got hit by a truck, and the truck kept going. Her sister saw her sister laying out there in the street and ran out after her sister, not mindful of where she was going. And a car came along and struck her and killed her. So both of them are dead, and they're both teenagers. Now that's hard times. Not hard times for those who have lost their lives, but hard times for those who love them and have to bury them and continue on after them. Now, what do you say to a person that has lost 2 daughters like that? What do you say to a young man who made the young girl pregnant and he lost the fruit of the womb and the woman who's producing his child? How do you talk to them? But God has made us all to handle the vicissitudes of life. You can handle it. And God's grace is always there if you call on it. And the way to call on His grace, if I may say, is to understand that into all of our lives a misfortune will come if we live long enough. And when misfortune comes, the truly righteous person will say, We are Allah's. He is our patron, and to him is our eventual return. What does that do? That makes you go through your hour of trial with the strength necessary to overcome it. I've seen people literally curse God when things like this happen and they can't understand it. I've watched women at funerals, men too, just cry out. They want to know why. Why my son? Why my daughter? Why you take this person? He was so good. Why didn't you take that wild, crazy one down the street? Why you take my child that was so good? I mean, parents ask these kind of questions. And they think because they live right. And Jesus, you know, I say all my prayers and I read the Bible every morning. Why you take my child? Does that mean that he's not supposed to take your child simply because you read the Bible and pray? What kind of sick mind do you have? You ain't no better than nobody else because you read the Bible and pray. Somebody else don't read the Bible and don't pray, but that don't mean you are better than they because you read the Bible and pray. You have a funny way of looking at your own little righteousness. And some of us think because we're Muslims and believing in the one God that nothing should happen to us. Don't be a fool.
Right.
If you believe in Jesus and you say he's the Son of God, couldn't get no closer to God than that. But look what God put him through. And that's his child.
Think over that.
Well, if he put Jesus through that, then you hush.
Yes, sir.
There ain't nobody nailed you yet. They may be planning to. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So whenever your trial comes, if you look at how he prayed when he was going through it, Father, I commend my spirit into your hand. Look, I can't handle this. I can't handle it, but I know you can. I'm just going to go on. I'm going to keep stepping. Well, that's the way I believe that the righteous should always be here. So that whatever happens in your life, you find the inner strength to get on through it. And you got to find the strength from within yourself, because there are times when you can't lean on nobody.
Come on.
Right.
There are times when mom is not going to be there, dad is not going to be there, your best friend is not going to be there. So some connection got to be made with you and your Creator direct, that you can go on through it alone, knowing that you're still not alone. So trials come into your life to see what kind of person you are. Hell, it's easy for you to love God if everything going your way.
Yes, sir.
Can you dig it?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. I don't mean to be hip, but
This is good, y'all. It's good.
look, you got children. Daddy, can I have some candy? Yes, son. Daddy, can I have that gun set? Yes, son. Daddy, can I have a cowboy hat? Yes, son. Daddy, can I have a baseball mitt? Yes, son. Daddy, I want a new suit. Sure, son. Then one day, Daddy ain't got no money. Said, Daddy, can I have it? No, I ain't got it. What? Shoot. Hell, you don't know what you got. You think you got a son. It's like a woman. Every time she asks you for something, you try to give it to her. She says, oh, thank you, darling. Oh, sugar, you so sweet. Bless your heart. But when you tell her, baby, I can't do that this week. And I won't be able to do it next week. What? Well, just a minute. I know someone who can, you know. And that's when you find the strength to say, find them, baby.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And get the hell on out of my life. You know somebody who can give it to you, go find them. Because hell, you ain't here to give her every time she asks whatever she asks for. Hell no. God don't do that for you. And he's God and got all the treasures, can give you anything you want, but he don't do it. So how the hell you going to expect your husband to do it, or you expect your wife to do it? No, there come a time when you're not able to do it. And that's when you find out what you got. I used to do that to my children all the time. And other people's children. I'd set them up. Set their minds up. Yeah, and when I come home, I'm going to do such and such and so and so. And boy, their minds be all set up when I come home. I'm very sorry. I won't be able to do that. Then I just sit back and watch them. So their lips get long and funny. That's showing me what I really got there. See, when you can't take disappointment, then the real person comes out under disappointment. That's when Satan became known, according to the Quran, when he got a disappointment. You judge me to be erring and cause me to remain disappointed? Well, I'll lie and wait for them in that straight path. Say, I'm going to get even with you, God. There's a lot of people like that. As long as you give them what they ask for, they with you. I got some around here that's like that. And I'm going to try them soon. I'm going to build their minds up like they're going to get whatever they want. And then I'm going to tell them, sorry, I can't do it. And then I'm going to look in your face and see how you act.
Yes, sir.
And then bust you, get rid of you.
Yes, sir.
Hell no, you ain't got no friend if you just got a friend and every time he calls, you can say yes, and he say, oh, thank you, you know. That ain't nothing.
That's right.
So you under God's grace right now. But maybe when you're going through a trial, you're being made manifest. Your faithfulness, your strength, your commitment to God is seen more in trials than it's seen when things are going your way. But God tries you with both. Because he'll give you something that's a real blessing.
Yes, sir.
And then see how you act. Then when you got money in your pocket, you're riding high, ain't got no time to pray.
That's
So
right.
prayers for them people that need it. You know what I mean? I once needed to pray. You know what I mean? Now I got what I want. Oh, who is God? Where is he? I'll call him when I need it. And in a little while, you need it. Well, the point is, either way, when you are tried by hard times, remain steadfast. When you're tried by good times, remain steadfast. Then that's a person that God marks as the righteous.
All praise is due to Allah, family. Man, that's huge, man. Goodness, that's huge. I hope y'all really took this in. You know, the minister teaches us, you know, through our final call and the teachings that Allah ordains struggle for us. So if Allah is the center of everything, and he has an active and a permissive will, when we go through trials, we got to ask ourselves, yeah, I'm going through this trial. Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, that's unfair. Yeah, I didn't like that. But where is God in it? And when we can think on that level, see, it's an attitude. Where is God in it? What's my lesson? Not a loss. What's my lesson that's going to lead me to my ultimate blessing? So I got to know when I'm going through a hard, tough trial, hey, man, there's a purpose for that. But also when I overcome it and I'm high, there's a purpose for that. Remain steadfast, seek refuge in Allah, no matter what condition we're in. Now, I want to go to this next one because many of us as believers or sympathizers, whatever, we go through hard trials. There's things that, press 1 in the comment section that if there has been something that you wanted to accomplish, something that right now you want to accomplish and you dealing with it. It's taking too long, or you want it to happen tomorrow, but it's just not happening at the speed you want it to happen. Press 1 if you dealing with that right now. You want things to manifest quicker than it is, man. It's taking too long. You don't know if God is really with you. I want y'all to hear from the minister as he teach and talk about this. And I want to say this before I get to this next thing. I made this tweet in this post. I don't know how many of y'all seen it. But don't underestimate listening to these teachings when you going through a trial. Many of us, we may be high, right? So we doing good and we done heard lectures and we think, well, I done heard that lecture before. I'm telling y'all from personal experience. When you listen to it while you going through a trial, you hear things different than you heard the first time. You could have sworn, man, he didn't say that the first time. Because of our condition and what you're going through, it didn't stick. But when you're going through it and you reread it and you rehear it, man, it be the medicine that you need to get through past that hard, tough day that you didn't think you would get through. So continue to feed no matter where you at, high or low, continue to feed on it because we never know what we need. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to the minister talk about this part right here.
You know, brothers and sisters, the Bible says that Allah will send forth His word, and it shall not come back to Him void, but it shall accomplish everything that He has said it would. It will accomplish it. In spite of what you do, or I do, or we do, God is the doer. And if you don't do your job, He's on His job.
That's right. Yes, sir.
None of us have the power to make God a liar.
Great.
There is no word that He spoke that can be said to be false, because He has the power to make every word that He spoke truth. But when God speaks, He speaks words that give us a picture of what He intends. Although the picture is a vision, the messenger of Allah said that vision is real.
Yes, sir.
It has to come to pass. But in between Allah's articulation of the word through the mouth of His servants, the prophets and messengers, and the manifestation of that word in the establishment of truth and the reality of what the word made us to see was coming, there is the test of the believers and their faith in that word, that they can stand on it with surety, even though they haven't seen it come to pass, that they know it will be.
Yes, sir.
Test.
The believer is a very special person. The believer is the beloved of God. Because
I want to stop right here real quick. I want to interject. You know, it says that he's saying that the believer is the beloved of God. And then I read also in the Quran where it talks about you do the duty, you deliver the message, that Allah will protect you from the enemies. And that alone, and this is how I'm interpreting this. Y'all may see this another way. How I see that is, man, my main objective is just to make sure that I don't give a damn what nobody think. You keep your hand in His hand and just strive to remain a believer. Because if the believer, he ain't no respecter of persons. If the believer is the beloved of God and the believer is going to be the winner in the end, I ain't got time to be trying to figure out all what everybody intention. I don't know none of that. I'm not the supreme being I shouldn't even waste my time trying to figure out everything. But if I remain and stay focused on me being a believer, then I know that they gonna be backing me. And no matter what is happening, what I'm going through, I'm gonna come out of it on top because I remained a believer. But when I get outside of that, become a disbeliever, or my actions say disbeliever, now I should be fearing. Now I should, be looking over my shoulder because that protection now is removed. Man, it just makes it so simple to the fact that, okay, I just got to remain a believer. What is a believer? Remain on this duty. And then I ain't got nothing else to worry about because the God got the rest. That's just how I'm interpreting. I may be off, but that just brings peace to me. Man, I don't know what's going to happen. But I know behind the scene when nobody else was looking, I stood on this. And man, it just brings peace to the mind.
Believe in that which has not yet materialized sometimes causes others who disbelieve to call the believers fools.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
But the Quran says they are the fools, but they perceive not. While they mock the believers, they are in reality blinding themselves to that word, which if they allowed it to enter their ear, it would stimulate the brain to see, and the heart to believe, and the hands to work, and the feet to walk in the path, and they would ultimately walk right into the reality of that word. But believers have to be tried.
Yes, sir.
In the few moments that I shall be among you this evening, I want to talk about the trial of believers. Believers are the beloved of God because they believe in Him, they put their trust in Him, they obey His apostles and messengers and prophets, and they try to carry into practice in their lives the principles that uphold their belief. Belief is translated in other words as faith. Paul says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. There has to be hope. And hope is a level of expectation. I hope to see you tomorrow. I have a level of expectation. I really want to see you tomorrow. And I hope that you will allow me to see you tomorrow. And it's that hope sometimes that keeps me going from today till tomorrow till I can see you again. Faith, the substance of things hoped for. In hope is the expectation, and in the expectation is the thought and the vision of the substance of the thing. Let's put it simple.
I want to pause this real quick. There's a brother who says in the comment section that he would love to see him teach in person. Right now, brother, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan just recently spoke in Chicago. We was all in Chicago for Savior's Day. If you want to catch the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speak at this time, God willing, he speaks next year. Now, we know he's up in age. He's been talking about his departure. It's to come to one of the Savior's Day. He's not doing a lot of speaking in person like that. And if you're interested in joining or, just checking out the study group, going somewhere in your area, you could text me the word nation to 833-276-7174. I'm going to say it one more time. Text just the word by itself, nation, to 833-276-7174. 7174. You're going to get a response, and it's probably going to send you this video, but then shoot me another text and say, hey, man, I'm in this city. Man, I'm trying to figure out how I can go check out one of the study groups and study, learn more. And then if I know the person or if I can get you in contact with somebody, I help you do that.
Have you ever wanted something that you really didn't have the money to purchase? But you went home and you saw yourself with it. And you laid down in your bed and you desired it. You wanted it. But most importantly, you believed that you could get it. It's not the desire that will lead you to get it, it's the belief. I can have that. I will have that. So when you state your faith, the desire, and faith feed the will. And the will organizes the forces to allow us to achieve the reality. So faith is the support for the will. Faith is the support for the will. He who undermines faith breaks the will. When faith is undermined and will is broken, then we can no longer move toward the objective. We have no driving force within us to go toward the goal because we have lost faith in the reality of the goal, and we no longer hope, have an expectancy to receive the reality of the goal. Hope is lost. So the dry bones in the valley, that's the way they talked. Our hope is lost. Our bones are dried. We are cut off from our pot. When you're like that, you are actually dead. It is not that you have physically died, but the death of faith is the death of the will, is the frustration of the desire, is the killing of the expectancy. So you are nothing but an empty shell wandering about until faith is restored. The greatest men and women of the Bible were men and women of faith. They were believers, and believers are the beloved of God. I, as a youngster, always wanted to see black people free. And I never have doubted that we will be free. I knew that we had formidable opponents. I did not know how we would be delivered. But when I heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach me of Allah and His power, I believed. And that belief in Allah and the resurrection of our people raised my hope. I expect the resurrection.
Expect it.
I believe that it will take place.
Yes, sir.
I desire the rise of black people. I have faith that our people will rise. So my faith supports my will. And my will drives me to accomplish the goal. Or at least to die in the attempt. But even death will not stop what God has ordained. I will die a Muslim. Believing and in submission. To acting upon.
I want to stop right there. He said not even death or dying would stop what God ordained. So when I hear that, and we hear the minister say, I will be the winner, living or dead. What does that mean? What do you think about when we hear that? Well, what I get from that is, as long as what I'm doing or set out for is in line with his will, it's going to happen no matter who or what opposition is in front of me. So as a Muslim, we submit our will to do his will. We may have a will for this thing to be successful. Someone else may have a will for this thing not to be successful. Whatever align with his will and is in the season of God, that's what's going to come into fruition. Now, it doesn't mean that we just say, hey, I want a car, and if I don't get no car, I must not be in God's will. We have a responsibility of our own that we're supposed to carry out. We're not just throwing it out to no mystery God. Yeah, we got to exercise force and power God within ourselves. But man, if we can study and align our goals and align what we want to attain in line with his will, man, that's that type of willpower backing you. It ain't nothing that this world will be able to stop when you got the God backing you. But when we want to do something and be slick with it, when we have evil intent, ill intent, when we're doing things for the wrong reasons, we can't expect that power, that will to be backing us because it's not in line with his will. So man, when we have our goals and things, think about, does this align with the will of God? And it'll just give you more juice that's backing your idea, your desire, and your will.
The will of God. The believers are the beloved of God. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever been in love, if that has ever happened in your life, to be the beloved of someone who is powerful is to share in his power. To be the beloved of someone who is rich is to share in his riches. To be the beloved of someone who is wise is to share in his wisdom. To be the beloved of one who is secure and can grant security is to be made safe. To be the beloved of one who has power over all things is to fear nothing. Yes, sir. The believer is the beloved of God. When you are beloved of someone, that one wants to keep you ever before his eye. That one wants to take you into his bosom. To be the beloved child of a mother is to be comforted constantly by the warmth and protection of her bosom. The believer is the beloved of God. But who are the believers?
Come on.
How do you distinguish the believer from one who feigns belief? Well, a believer says, Assalamu alaikum. Well, so does a hypocrite. A devil can say that.
Come on.
Well, a believer eats one meal a day. Well, yes.
But disbelievers can adopt a good eating program. How do you distinguish a believer? The Quran gives you the mark of the believer. Let's see what it says. In Surah 2 of the Quran, it opens like this. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I, Allah, am the best knower. This book, there is no doubt in it. It is a guide to those who fear God and shun evil. This book, there is no doubt in it. Stop right there. Doubt is the very opposite of belief. The moment you doubt, you lose power to act. If you believe, you have the power to act on that belief. Once you doubt, you can't act. So the believer's belief makes him active in pursuing the results of his belief.
Ooh, I gotta stop it right there. This is why the enemy always attacks us mentally. We still can do certain things that he can do as far as business, as far as uniting, as far as doing this. But if he can get us to think a certain way, attack our beliefs, put propaganda out there, if there's a way for us to socially engineer us to stop believing and knowing who we are, which are God's beings, exercising force and power, then he can control the outcome, because he knows if we want to change the fruit, we got to change the root. And what is the root? The mind, how we think, how we believe, our faith in ourselves and in others. We know scripture says, be ye transformed not by the renewing of our money. It says, be ye transformed by what? By the renewing of the mind. So if you lay out and you hear do for self, but then as soon as you hear do for self, a doubt comes up to mind. Damn, I never done business before. Why would they buy for me? My product wouldn't be good enough. See, you want to lose weight. You want to get you want to start eating better. But it's going to take too long for me. See, so the doubt begins to creep up, and the doubt cripples us. Because it is the belief that the faith, the desire, and the will is standing on. So if I can destroy the faith and the belief, I can destroy him, because he needs the belief and faith to get to where he's trying to go. Golly. Man, so I believe. So when people talk, I used to always hear people, when I first came into the teachings, people used to try to mock belief. Well, I don't do belief. I do know. I'm a knower. Yeah, I get that. To a certain degree. But when you go out there in the morning and you start your car, you didn't know your car was going to start. You believed it was going to start. And because you believed it was going to start, it led your actions to go and take your butt out there and turn the key. But how many people do you know maybe one day went out there and they turned the key and the car didn't start? They didn't know that. They believed that my car is about to start, so I'm finna turn it. So we don't know everything. So listen, as you come into this, don't allow others to defer you from belief. You don't believe. I ain't believe nothing. You believe something. Yeah, you believe something. So listen, family, strengthen your belief. Strengthen your faith. Not just faith in God, but faith in self. Listen to that self-accusing spirit within, which is God too. The minister says, would you murder the messenger of God? And the audience said, no, sir, I wouldn't murder the messenger of God. And he said, you murder the messenger of God every day that we steal the voice of truth from within inside of ourselves. We used to see growing up, watching cartoons, the angel on one side and the devil's on one side. Now, that's only symbolic of what goes on inside of us every day. There's a voice. When we want to do, there's a voice that shows up. Do it, brother. Come on now. Don't skip another day. Come on. Go ahead and go and get it out the way. Here comes the devil voice. Man, you can do it tomorrow. Don't worry about that. You tired. Take a break. You good. So that voice, the two forces are within us. Which one are we going to submit to? So strengthen our faith. When we hear that voice of truth within, the more we obey that, the more we submit to that, we get stronger in obeying our higher selves, obeying the God. But the more we give in to that lower self, the weaker part of ourselves, we deteriorate our will. And I'm going to talk about that because the minister speaks about that in our study, guys. But I just want to point that part out, man. Faith. He's saying, I know he's talking about the believers right now, but even if you're not in the nation or whatever the case may be, strengthen your faith with God, man. And strengthen the faith with yourself. Get knowledge yourself so that you can fall in love with yourself and know who you are. Once you know that you're the mother and father of civilization, that you're the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, that gives you a certain type of belief, and it, man, make you stick your chest out. Not in arrogance, but in knowledge of who you are finally.
The person who doubts and is feigning belief is not really acting out the principle. They sit among the believers, but they are not active. In fact, they are like a weed to a rose. They sit next to a believer who is trying to act out the principles. And they have a desire not to act on the principle, but to choke out the action of the person that believes. Have you met anyone like that? With a word spoken and you hear it and all of a sudden, and then I don't have a desire to take the paper. This week I'll duck my obligation. I won't come out to my FOI class, and I'll make an excuse to my MGT class, and I'll miss the mosque meetings, and then, of course, I know they're going to ask me where have I been, and I'll lie. I'll tell them I have a domestic problem, or after a while, I just won't want to be. I don't like the suit. Why do I have to wear this bow tie or any kind of tie? Why do my shoes have to be shined? Why do I have to have my face shaved and a haircut? And why do I have to dress like this? What is happening to you? Something is undermining faith. You don't hope for a meeting with Allah.
And I want to bring some context. I know he's talking about nation principles, FOI, MGT. But if you're not in the nation, translate what he's saying so you still can receive the principles. Right now, he's talking about our duty of taking the final call, delivering it to our people, dressing a certain way, living a certain way. But what about your standards? What are some standards that you know you live by, some goals that you set for yourself, and you find yourself, well, nah, I ain't gonna do that. Or nah, I ain't gonna do that. Or nah, I ain't gonna stick to doing this. Think about it. Hold on. That's not happening for no reason. What has happened? What have we allowed to enter in that's tampering with our mindset, that's allowing us to get away from doing things that we know will make us successful? We got to check that, or else we'll find ourselves falling off to where it may be too late, where you look back and you done fell all the way down when you could have heard this message and say, you know what, let me check myself right now today. Monday, March 20th, let me see where I've been slipping at. Come on. All right here. Today I'm going to get it together. Right here, I've been slipping. Okay, let's get it together. Because all of us slip, all of us fall, none of us perfect. But it's about receiving a message that's going to convict us and get us right back on the right path. That's why in our prayer, it says striving to be upright. Not that we all upright, striving to be upright. So if we done kind of, went back to that B stage, let's get ourselves back up, family. That's what he came for, to help us and save us, not to condemn us, but to lift us back up with the word.
You don't hope for the hereafter. You don't hope for the resurrection of the dead. All these niggas will never rise. I was a fool to even believe that. Look at all these crazy niggas out here. They look like they're getting worse to me. Does Farrakhan think he can wake these people up? I think he's a little sick myself. See, when you begin to lose faith, everything looks big and impossible to you.
That's right.
See, when you're full of faith, you feel that you can get the job done tomorrow. That's right. Go ahead.
3 times.
But when you lose faith, you start making excuses and saying, oh, hell, this job ain't never going to get done. I might as well go and party and just have a good time. I'm going to die one of these days, but I'm enjoying myself. Now, that is the truth. You're going to die, sure enough, one of these days. But isn't it marvelous to live your life in submission to the will of the Lord of the worlds? Isn't it wonderful to live your life knowing that you are working out not only your salvation, but helping to work out the salvation of a people who will live long after we are dead and gone? Isn't it wonderful to know that we are preparing a future for ourselves and our children? It's like a fat person losing weight.
All right.
Come on.
You gotta expect a loss.
Right.
Come on. You gotta keep seeing yourself as you once were. You gotta believe that the course you're on is gonna bring the intended results. And even if you step on the scale and it don't show a loss the first day, don't get discouraged. Just keep on your program. Because if you keep on your program day after day, believing, expecting, and hoping, and working, and sweating for the results, before you know it, you look in the mirror one day.
All right,
And you say, not where I want to be, but I'm on the road. And when you can see that you're on the road, it gives you more courage to even work harder because you see something coming. But so many start out, and they don't get the results right away, and all the pain, my legs hurt, oh God, my back hurts, oh Lord, I got to keep doing this. And before you know it, you want to give up. And then some fat person next to you says, oh, you look good. You don't have to strain yourself.
And that's key. Be mindful, y'all, of those who allow us to be mediocre. Oh, man, you all right. No, you can do better. Yeah, and I can help you do better. Here are some suggestions on how to be better. No, man, I want you to be a God. See, so when we allow our friends and our people to say, oh, it's okay, when they know we can be better, when they know we can do better, we got to start looking at them. What you on? See, in our ego, we may say, oh, that's my brother. He's a yes man. She's a yes man. Everything you do is right. But the one who may agitate us just a little bit, that'll tell us, hey man, you was wrong there, brother. You can be better there, brother. That's the one who we really want to stick around and get feedback from, because they not going to allow us to stay down here because they want to see us up here. Man, that's deep, man. Because it happens. Somebody may say something to you. Yeah, you ain't, boy, you look good. Boy, you don't need no six-pack, boy. That's all the justification we need. Y'all know when we fasting during Ramadan, during the 3-day fast, you waiting for somebody to say the right thing. Watermelon, brother, 98% water, brother. You can go and get you a watermelon. I know we fast and we can drink water, can't we? Well, watermelon made of water, brother. So go on, you can take a little bite. That ain't gonna hurt nothing. We waiting on that. Ooh, that's a good point, brother. Let me go and break my fast. Come on, man. Y'all know. So just be mindful. It's not that you're not going, but be mindful of the people around you. You want people that's going to help us, hold us accountable. It's not a bad thing that they holding us accountable. It's a good thing, especially now if they don't mean you no harm. There's some people that critique you. They going to find something and everything. They just be exaggerating. But you want to find a good brother who, man, that brother really want to see me do good. And they want to allow us to become so mediocre and complacent with making no progress. I know it may be agitating. Damn, he get on my nerve. He don't never let me. But that's the one. In the end, you're going to be thinking, man, that brother didn't let me give up.
The world today is accepting fat people. They're just calling us stout and beautiful. You turn on Oprah and she drop one on you. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm sick of dieting. And you look at Luther Vandross, and he got his back, and he says, well, I'm fat, but I can sing. True. But you sure look better, brother, when you were thinner. Then that gives you an excuse to give up. There's always a test. Whenever you say you want something that God wants for you, Satan will always speak to you from the weak side to encourage you to give up. Those who believe there is no doubt in this book, meaning every word of it is truth, and not that there is no doubt in the book. You should have no doubt in it. Yes, sir. Right. It's a book for the believer. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Who believes in the unseen. Stop right there. The scholars say that the unseen means the vision that the word brings up of a future thing that is to take place that's not yet there. I believe that this devil is on his way out. Yes, sir.
So, family, I hope that this video was for somebody. I don't know who it was for. I seen a couple people, with some comments in the comment section. But man, I just wanted to make this video because I wanted to share a word from the minister, something in videos that has helped me during my trying times. Trying times doesn't mean that it's the end, especially with big things are happening, family, and you striving to carry out his mission, and you're striving to be a believer. That is the time to open our eyes and see, what does he want to manifest in me? It may be some bad things. It may be a flaw. It may be a weakness, but there's a reason he wants it to manifest so that we can see it, so that we can correct it and be better and do better. It's not to crush us, down us, but it's like gold. You burn it and you're purifying it, not burning it and damaging it and destroying it. We're being purified through our trials. So if we're going through a trial right now, think about, what is he striving to purify me for? What is he striving to manifest in me so that I can be conscious of it, so I ain't got to go through this again? See, me, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm going through a slight trial myself. And as I look back on my life, I say he has tried to get me to learn this before. And I thought I had it, but I didn't act all the way on it to avoid it another time. So now the trial is a little bit bigger. It's almost the same scenario, a little bit bigger. Son, I need you to master this because it's something bigger that I want to give you, sister or brother, but you got to tie this up first before I can give it to you. So in the trial, let's open our eyes. Let's open up our ears, man, and listen and watch and see, not other people. It's not about pointing the finger. This. Yeah, we can do that, and it may be justified. But as we do that, look back at self and say, now, what could I have done better? What could I have done to avoid it? That's ultimately what's going to make us better because we cannot control others. We can't control their actions. We can't control their thoughts. We can't control what they say about us, but I can control me. So I can control how nope. You know what I mean? To make sure that whatever I get into is right and exact. So, man, I thank everybody for listening to this podcast today. If you're going through something, man, and you coming in late, please rewatch this from the beginning. And as I said before, if you guys want me to text you guys and so that you don't miss any podcasts like this in the future, text the word nation to 833-276-7174. It's my text list so that, you guys don't see me post about it on social media, or maybe social media didn't alert you that I was live. I shoot a text before I go live and say, hey, I'm about to do a podcast about this. I'm about to do a podcast on this topic. And, you guys can be here on time. But, man, I thank all of you all. Remain patient. Be patient with yourself. Remember, the scripture says the race is not to the swift nor to the strong, but to those of us who can endure to the end. After difficulty comes ease. After difficulty comes the ease. But watch this part. If we don't duck the difficulty. Let me read this. I forgot I want to give us this. This is from our self-improvement study guides from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I hope nobody left too early. This is from the self-improvement study guides called Building the Wheel. Watch this. He says, brothers and sisters, each time we turn away from the struggle to overcome difficulty, there then is deterioration of character and there is destruction of the will. And the will that is within you is God's gift. Oh, look at this. It is his essence that he gives to man, and anything that deteriorates your will destroys your ability to cope with the problems of life. Struggle is ordained. Oh, man, that's heavy, man. He says, the desire to attain a goal brings us face to face with difficulty. Oh, man, y'all not hearing this. He said the desire to attain a goal brings us face to face with difficulty. So let's put this in context. He says when we undergo the trial of difficulty, the trial may be so intense that it extinguishes the light of the desire to attain the goal. So some of us, when we come up on difficulty, we think sometimes in our mind, God don't like me. Or this how we spooky, superstitious. Oh, this is a sign that this ain't the right way. No, when we expect, hey, struggle is ordained. Opposition, what? Is necessary. So when opposition comes, when struggle comes, that does not mean abort the process, especially if you're doing it right. It means, hey, this is normal. Let's face it so that we can overcome it and get what we hoping for. So some of us are going through things not always because we did something wrong. It's because I got a goal I'm trying to attain. And my desire to attain and get this goal brought me face to face with difficulty. Now I got to overcome and deal with whatever it was that need to be corrected to get to my goal. Where it may be finances. It may be mentally. It may be relationships. It may be this. It may be that. What we brought face to face with is going to be what I struggle with. Somebody bring me face to face with a joint, that ain't my struggle. So that ain't my trial. But you, shoot, it may be a brother around you smoking, and that's one of your vices. That may be your trial. So all of our trials are going to be different. So let's change the perspective and the attitude we have when we have difficulty in our lives. Thank Allah that we still alive. Thank God, Jehovah Most High, whatever name you want to use, that you still alive to have the ability to overcome it. Some people didn't overcome the difficulty. They died. They gone. They don't have a chance and a choice to correct it, do better, overcome it, learn from the lesson and do it better. They chances are out. We still got breath in our body to say tomorrow, I'm on it better. Today, I'm doing better. Whew. It don't get no better than that, man. So let's change our perspective as the minister is striving to teach us and think about Allah's coloring, his viewpoint on things. And as I close, I said this before. See, the scripture says that his ways is not our ways. His thoughts is not our thoughts. Obviously, he has an elevated way of doing things, right? He has an elevated way of seeing things, right? Well, if we strive to elevate our thinking, when we get on the airplane and we go up, buildings that once was big, woo, I can't believe they built something like this. When we get on the airplane and go 10,000 feet and look down on it, we say, whoa, I can barely see it. Well, how about us get on the God, Allah, Most High Airlines and sit in our seat and let him take us up high so that we can look down on our problems and say, whoa, that problem that I once thought was big is really small now when I look at it from his view. Ooh, I'm done, y'all. I'm through. Man, I thank you all for listening. Again, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm getting back in motion, man. I'm getting back with these podcasts, putting these teachings back in your face. Not that I stopped, but I'm getting back on my podcast at least. So I hope, man, this podcast was impactful for somebody, valuable for somebody. And if y'all don't mind, come on the YouTube channel, on the video, and just leave a testimonial of what you got from the minister's words or what you got from the podcast, maybe something I said, because when we going through different things, we hear different stuff. So you may have heard something that connected with you that somebody else didn't catch. And when you put it in your testimonial, when you put it in the comment section, they say, ooh, I missed that part. Man, I needed that. So if y'all don't mind, for your little brother, come over to YouTube, subscribe to the new YouTube channel. Y'all know they keep taking them from me, and just comment y'all thoughts below. I messed up. I sound like that brother from 2010. Brother said, Assalamu lama. Wa alaikum assalam.
Oh, praise is due to Allah. Man, press the number 4 if you have something that you would like to share. Press the number 4 on the Zoom if you have something that you would like to share. Let's start with our great sister, Sister Shalon. Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
There we go.
Yes, Brother Ben. Oh, thank you so much for this. This is absolutely beautiful. Seek comfort through patience and prayer, which has to be acquired. But we do have the capacity to accept, or this is the definition of it, the capacity to accept the patience or tolerate delay without getting angry or upset and without complaining. I like you, Brother Ben, had a different take on patience. I didn't look at it as this. I looked at it as, okay, I just have to patiently wait for whatever I'm looking for. I didn't put it in that capacity. But you must change your mind. I must change my mind. As you use the analogy, shooting another jump shot. Practice. I'm actively practicing patience, and I see that there are times when I successfully make it through it. So this was so good. And I'm making it through it, learning to not be angry, learning to not get upset, learning to not get irritated. And that irritation comes here and there, but I have to change my mind about it, and I'm going to activate it even more. Nobody lives perpetually happy. I bear witness. We must experience opposites. I got a lot out of that. We can handle it. If you call on Allah's grace, I can handle it. When I call on Allah's grace, it will give me the strength to handle it. Oh, Allah, find my inner strength when no one is there. But Allah, I've been there. I've had to call on him. Now I know to completely ask myself, what is the lesson in this? What is the lesson for me to get out of this? As you said, listening to the teachings when going through something, because if you're a believer, you're going to be tried. Listening at this again, because you've played this again. You shared that with us. I heard so much more this time than I heard the first time you played this. So I'm bearing witness to that part. This was great hearing this a second time, because I don't even think I gave feedback the first time. But this time I got so much more and I had to pull it out of me. Faith is the support for the will. Have a driving force to get to the goal. Activate my faith. And I'm talking to myself. Activate your faith, Shalon. It supports your will despite the opposition, because there's going to be opposition. Said when you're determined to get to a goal, you're going to come right directly face to face with it. I am the beloved of Allah. I know this. I know this. I am to fear nothing and no one but God. I learned this when I first came into the ranks. I know now to activate it more. Because of my trials and tribulations, I've fallen off of my faith here and there. But I have to activate it again. Fear nothing and no one but Allah. Remove the doubt, all doubt, and strengthen my belief and my faith. I see something coming. I do. I can be better and I will be better. Thank you, Brother Ben, for this. This was everything for me. I love this and I'm grateful. That's what I had to share.
Praise be to Allah. A thought just came to my mind about belief. Going back to my jump shot in basketball. There is a certain, well, let me first say this. I'm speaking for myself. It may relate to you. There's a certain amount of belief that I needed to get started with shooting, but action fed belief. Oh man. So what I'm saying is that belief fed action and then action fed belief. There was a certain amount of belief that I needed to start, but then there was a certain amount of action that strengthened my belief to keep going. See, the more shots I saw go in through shooting, through action, through practice, it actually strengthened my belief. It's not that I had just a whole bunch of belief before I even started. It was the action that I took, and through me seeing the results over time of my actions, of the little faith that I had, it strengthened the belief in faith. Man. So sometimes we think that if we don't have all the belief in the world, we shouldn't start. No, when you start and as you do it, that is what gives you faith. See, my belief in the teachings have gotten stronger over time. I didn't just, let me get all the faith before I joined the nation. No, that was a little faith. Then I joined. Then we applied it. Then we seen results. Our life got better. Other people's life got better. And as things began to happen and manifest and bear witness, I said, oh man, that strengthened my faith right there. So it's not spooky. It's not all faith and things. No, it's faith. Because it says in John 14:12, those who believe will do the work that I'm doing. And as we do the work and we'll apply the little that we do, the little faith that we do have, I believe as we start to apply that, it strengthens us and it makes us more of a believer. We have more faith. So we have to couple our faith, couple our belief with an action. And then the action will then feed us more faith and more belief. So that's what I want to share. Let's go to Sister Jamie.
Assalamu alaikum, beloved. I'm at work, so I'm gonna be very quick, but I'm gonna try to be very to the point. Several things stood out. The no doubt and a believer acts on their belief. It made me think of, and it's so funny because you went to the wheel, about the things that impedes that adversely affect the will. He said, which is fear, vanity, pride, anger, greed. He said those things adversely affect the will. So if we going through a trial, if we're going through something that got us, that we've steady finding ourselves having more difficult than most, even though difficulty, anything of value, Minister said, difficulty is attached to it. But also I believe and there's lesson in that difficulty. So it's trying to figure out what is Allah trying to grow me into or grow me from in that difficulty. True story, for 2 years, I had to fight this battle. And when I first started fighting this battle, someone told me, girl, you need to leave that alone. You messing with the IRS, they're going to put you in jail. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, no, right is right, wrong is wrong. And I've been done wrong. And so I'm going to fight this battle because of the fact that they did me wrong. And when I tell you 2 years, I had to fight this battle, and I'm writing councilmen, I'm writing letters, I'm making phone calls. I'm on the phone for 12, 13, 20 hours. And finally, after 2 years, I was blessed with an abundance of what was due to me and then double what was due to me. So I'm just saying that to say that, because he said about you got to be careful of what you allow in your ear. Because I had people telling me, leave it alone. Don't make that fight. Don't do that fight. Don't go against, they may put you in jail. They may make you open up your finances. They make you do this. And I said, no, I'll keep fighting. And I said, okay, Allah, I'm gonna keep fighting. And it made me almost to the point, made me want to just give up and not do it, because I got to thinking, well, what if they put me in jail and I ain't even did nothing? Or what if they do an audit on me or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But Allah said, no, I told you keep fighting. So keep fighting. And I'm going to say it again, 2 years, I had to do this fight. I had to go against every obstacle there was. I had to make phone calls. I had to get in touch with my senator. I had to get in touch with the IRS. I had to do investigation after investigation. I had to send in paperwork. I had to send in everything. But when I tell y'all, after the fight, an abundance of a blessing that came to me after my fighting, just understand that sometimes Allah will put a door up just to see how much you want a thing. Say that again. Sometimes Allah put a door up, block up, a window up, a barge up, a boulder up, whatever, just to see how much you want this thing. Right now, I'm dealing with this same fight battle with my home right now. I want a house. And when I tell y'all I'm going through everything in the world, I've already been approved for the loan, for the house, but I just won't take anything because I told Allah, I want my house. What's for me? So all this that's just coming to me is like, oh, just take it. You won't find nothing better. You won't find nothing better. The devil. Don't listen to those whispers, especially the whispering, the slinking devil within. Sometimes we gotta fight that devil within before we fight the devil without. Again, I'm at work, and thank you for allowing me to talk. Y'all have a beautiful day.
Wow.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for sharing that. I was trying to remember what gave me chills, but maybe it was all of it. Sister Sherelle. Sister Sherelle, you ready?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, I am. Oh my gosh.
Are you coming in through, you got Bluetooth?
No, not.
Yeah, you coming in really low and staticky.
Okay, let me turn it up. How's that?
Is you in a bad area?
How about now?
I don't know. It's like a popping noise. Like something is wrong with the microphone. Can y'all hear it too, or is it just me? Are you driving?
No, we hear it. It's a mess. We hear it.
You hear a mess? What?
No, it's almost like a bunch
She
of.
has her window down.
Yeah, it's almost like you're driving with a window down, like a lot of wind or something.
No, I'm inside.
Okay, now
How
that's a better right there. That's better right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I came by the window. Okay. All right. Oh my God. I just want to say thank you. I have built up my arsenal listening just to this tape because I've never heard this one. Brother Ben, you playing all the tapes that I've never heard. Thank you. And it is such a wealth of knowledge that we have. We are rich to have this, you know? And those of us that are believers and we understand and embrace and are trying to practice this and see that it's actually is real and can affect your life in a very good way, that we have to continue to practice this. And what I wanted to say, let me get my note real quick. About being patient and patiently persevering. The young lady that just came off, I'm not going to go through my story, but hers was a great example as to how when you continue to persevere in spite of challenges and you don't let the fear overcome you, that actually right now, because the universe that we are living in, if we are in harmony with our creator, it's our time. It's now ordained for us to rule. We have that power. So if we embrace that and we act upon that, not to be arrogant, but to, diplomatically, respectfully stand on and insist on our rights, we will prevail. We can do this. So there's something that I tell the children. It was mentioned yesterday about the armors of God, and one of them is good news. So I wanted to bring it to the children because I wish I had known what I know now. I still am benefiting from it when I was a young person. So I think the sooner they get this, the better off they will be. So what I tell them is, my good news to them is that they're a child of God. Regardless to, like you said, Brother Ben, we have no control over other people. What's going on in their house with their parents or, situation with their peers. They have to know that they're a child of God. And eventually they come into fullness of understanding what that means, who God is, and then that they are gods with a little G. Okay? So then they can practice power in their life and walk in that. And it's a tape that Minister Farrakhan made, and the name of it is Fear, Faith, and Truth. And it came up into my mind yesterday and today. The young lady mentioned fear, that if you stand firm enough on that and strong enough, you could take that fear and turn it around and put it back into your opponent. He was talking about he was walking somewhere and there's a bull that came out and he had to face this bull, an actual physical bull, and they had like a showdown, a stare down, and the bull wound up running away. So we do have to walk in faith and not by sight. This is something I heard Brother Nori speak about. And if you have the right intention, and like you said, God is backing us, and we have the universe backing us right now. If we have that right intention, even if we make not the best choice, it can still turn out right because we had the right intention. And there's strength and there's so much power in that. So I just wanted to say that particularly about the children, because I think that since they are young, they're going to be the future rulers. I mean, we have our time here now, but my emphasis with me is trying to get my nieces and nephews and grandchildren to understand that they are a child of God and what that means. So they have to have that preface to move forward with strength in all of these other areas. But this is such a wealth that we have. We are rich. God continue to bless us all. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. Let's go to Brother Daniel.
All praise is due to Allah. This was so inspirational. I gotta just be a witness bear on this one. What Sister Jamie said made me think about the minister's words when he said that living or dead, he would be the winner, and he believes and knows that the people are going to be free. And I remember the words of his beloved mother. She said, when you right, you can fight. So Sister's principle of knowing that she was right, she took on that fight and eventually was victorious at the time that Allah deemed so. And this to me shows forth the importance of the role of the sisters, because sisters just have a sense of justice and they don't like injustice. And when the sisters take on that right and that fight, then the nation will rise exponentially. When the minister said that the believer, the beloved of God, that hit me hard, because I remember a time when I exercised doubt in being the beloved of God. And I'm reading the Quran, I'm praying, I'm doing all of these things in my dark hour. But I had so much doubt that I was favored by God. So I'm reading the Holy Quran, but I didn't trust the words. I'm begging and pleading and reading and doing all these things, but my distrust, my doubt, eclipsed everything I was reading, all my prayers. It was, Allah said, he who wastes prayers. Doubt has a chilling effect, and it eclipses my connection to the God. So I had to get over that doubt. And one of the things that I had to do was be more dutiful. So I can really understand what Brother Ben was saying when he was saying it wasn't just the belief when he was shooting them jump shots. It was making them shots that fed faith, that fed work, that fed faith. And it was like a tangent, it was working hand in hand. I realized that a lot of my doubt was connected to not keeping my duty, being selective, taking Islam and putting it on like a blanket and taking it off, not calling on the God when things is in ease, calling on him in difficulty. I had to learn a valuable lesson. No, buddy, you gonna learn to love God through it all. Because what you're gonna go through, if you make it through, based on trusting in Allah and having that faith, you will get through. But if you doubt the words that you're reading in this Quran, and if you doubt that you're the beloved of God, then it won't be God throwing you away. You're throwing yourself away because you doubting the very words of the Supreme Being. Here you are reading the Holy Quran. Allah is telling you, if you do this, I will do that. If you pray, I will care for you. And you praying and wailing and crying and doing all this, and you doubting that the God gonna keep his word. No, God is not a lie. You the lie. Get yourself together, buddy. Bow down to God. Believe in the one true and living God in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, and trust that his word is bond. And I realized that me having some mistrust, it wasn't me. It had nothing to do with Allah. It was because I wasn't standing totally on truth. I wasn't even trusting in my own self. As Brother Ben spoke about that faith in self. When we don't love ourselves and we have that great self-hatred, how are we gonna believe that the Supreme Being loves us? I'm Allah's beloved, but I don't know why Allah loved me. We got to get over that, because if we don't submit and understand that Allah loves us because he knows more about us than we know about ourselves, we're going to have a hard time moving forward in this work. So I'll get off of it, but that part really hit me because I went through it and I had to understand that Allah does love the believer. And that when we strive to believe, we're going to fall short, but he has ordained mercy on himself and on us. We we got to understand that we won't even make it to minister without without Allah's mercy being shown to us. None of us will make it. So yes, believe in yourself. So that's one thing I looked at. And the last thing I want to say is, because Brother Ben went to the study guides, it's so important whether we registered or not registered to participate in that self-improvement study guides. Because we studied this last night, Brother Ben, in study guide number 7. He was talking about Allah being wroth with those who take for friends people that he's wroth with. And the more I'm listening and the more I'm understanding, it's very important to surround yourself with people that's going to be supportive, that's going to believe and love the things that you love. When we find ourselves surrounded by people that's constantly kicking it against what we believe, our light going to go out. And Allah said in the Holy Quran, the devil gained mastery of them people. When we keep company with devils all day long, eventually the devil going to gain mastery over us. Then we going to wonder why we not leveling up, rising up. It's because we're not being with, as Brother Ben said, finding somebody that can help us be better. We're running from those who can help us be better to those who can help us be either as we are or even worse than what we are. This is the time that we're going to have to really choose to be around those who can help us be whom Allah desires us to be. That's all, fam.
Man, you said something that stood out to me, which was Allah knows you. And if Allah loves you, well, let me just say what I got out of it. Allah loves us and he came for us because there's something he may know about us that we don't know. And could it be that it's certain circumstances and trials that he's bringing out and manifesting, and maybe something that he wants us to see about ourselves that will grow us in knowledge of self and grow us in love for self as he loves us? Because if he came to a people that was made dumb, deaf, and blind, who lost the knowledge of self, what he had the knowledge of who we were. So he came to a people that others may have said, why would you come to them? Why would you go to them? Why would you seek to save them? I know what you know not. So could it be that he loves us, but we don't love ourselves because he knows something about ourselves that we don't know? And it's through the trials, it's through the circumstances, it's through the situations that we don't like that grows us in love and knowledge of ourselves. I can bear witness that over the past 3-4 years, there are some things I've learned about myself. There are some things that has been brought out that wasn't out 3 years ago. Things that has been manifested that wasn't manifested 3 years ago, but it was due to the trials. It was due to the things that I seen that was, to me, unfortunate. But he said, oh, man, it was some things that needed to be manifested. So now these characteristics and some of the skill sets that's being brought out is now impacting more than it was 3 years ago. So I can't say, oh, whoa, that thing happened. I have to now say, thank you for allowing me to go through that thing, because if I did not go through that thing, I wouldn't be the more developed person that I am today. My goodness, even the people, right? So we think about people, oh, this person is this person is that. Well, if Allah's the only reality now, if he has an active and a permissive will, I mean, yeah, I may be upset, but thank you for causing me to think and be wiser. Thank you for giving me a different perspective. Thank you for opening my eyes to other possibilities where I may have been naive. Because I believe and know that God has something bigger for me. And if we know that God has something bigger for us, then whatever we're going through right now may be this small. Man, this may be the bigger that it's ever may gonna get. I don't know. This may be really small compared to where he really want to take you to. This may be that's why he probably said, "Oh, ye of little faith." Ah, they saw the ship sinking. They coming to him. Jesus, Jesus, the ship is sinking. How you laying down asleep? He said, "Oh, ye of little faith. This ain't nothing, son." How many of us can be honest in 2024, May 16th, we can say back in 2014, there was a trial that we thought we never could get through. There was a trial in 2012 we thought we never could get through. There was a trial in 2020 we thought we would never get through, but look at us today. Oh, look at us today. We can look back on it and say, man, I made it through. I overcame it. I got over that. Damn, I thought I would never get over this. I thought I would never get over this person. I thought I would never get over this situation. But look at you today. You might got a little residue on you, but it ain't as bad as you thought it was it? See? So let us be mindful of that whenever we go through something in modern time. I know it may look big to me now, but man, shoot. In about 3-4 years, I'm going to look back on this and I'm going to be thankful. And I'm going to just learn from it and I'm going to grow from it. It don't have to be something that destroys me. If I have the right attitude, it's going to propel me. So let's go to Brother Michael 17X. Is Brother Michael still here? Maybe not, because I don't see him. Let's go to Sister Farah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
So I didn't take notes, but what stood out to me was when the minister was speaking about doubt and how Allah had blessed me with so many ideas and visions in the past that really were the answers to my prayers. These ideas that if I would have acted on really would have gotten me out of the condition I was in at the time or the trials I was going through at the time. But the mistake I had made at the time was I was quick to go and share those ideas and, with others, with family. And basically they would push their own doubt and fears onto me. But really, I can't say that, because if you allow someone to talk you out of your vision or your dream, if you allow someone to talk you out of that, if you allow someone to put doubt in you, then really that doubt or fear already existed. They just, they were pulling on those doubts and fears that already existed within you. The only reason Satan is able to tempt us with things and deceive us is because he takes things that already those inner thoughts, those negative thoughts that already exist within your mind, and basically brings them forth. But that's why it's so important to strengthen our faith by feeding on the word and nursing on the Quran to replace those negative thoughts of fear, doubt, anxiety with words of empowerment and words of strengthening. And it really cancels out those negative thoughts. I don't remember which minister said this, but only one, it was something like only one can exist. So the more we replace those negative with positive thoughts by feeding on the word, we really are able to kill, can't think of a better word, but really kill that fear, doubt. anxiety, grief. Uh, but yeah, you can't really blame anyone else for talking you out of your ideas that you never really believed in it in the first place. That it was able to. If you really believe it, nothing they say would be able to stop you from it. And no, it's one of those. It's like every time I didn't do a lot put on my heart to do. Later on down the line, I'm left wishing that I did, because I would have got to where I was trying to go, where I was praying to go sooner. But I've been hindered by my own actions due to fear and doubt. All right, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Brother Khalil?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Boy, they gotta fix that mute button, brother. Man, this was excellent. Excellent. This is perfect timing. I got so much from this message and yesterday's message, talking about feeding on different things and eating the right food. But right now, I am experiencing a challenge that is requiring me to use more than the gifts and talents that Allah has blessed me with. And I think that could be a trial for some of us as well. I remember in the lecture that you played, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about two trials. One, when we are at our lowest point, we should seek Allah and be steadfast. But also when we're doing well, we should seek Allah and be steadfast. And I don't know, that just made me think about myself right now. And what I've been analyzing is, oftentimes I've been relying a lot on my gifts and talents that Allah has given me to get me through things. And this current challenge that I'm experiencing right now is requiring a higher level of intelligence that I do not have. And I'm being humbled and I'm realizing this. So, I don't know, man. It just brought to mind one of my favorite lectures that brought me in the Nation of Islam, which was Savior's Day 97. And one of the things that I love about the Nation of Islam and its theology is, we hear it all the time, there is no spook God, or this is all real. And for the first time listening to that lecture, Savior's Day 97, I heard about the evolution of God. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about the evolution and how Allah God acquired his attributes, and that the triple darkness that God formed himself in was necessary in order for him to acquire the attribute of patience, the attribute of all of Allah's 99 names. And so we know that that darkness is something that we have to overcome as well. And that darkness is trials, difficulty, pain. But like you said, Brother Ben, it's necessary to have that opposite in order for us to be patient, or to become charitable, or to become righteous. We have to have that opposite force on the other side that we have to overcome in order for us to achieve what we want. But in that lecture, I remember the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan saying that there was light in the darkness, and that light is what caused that atom to start rotating. And I've heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say that that light is truth. And so that helps me understand that I don't know why I get away from it, but the only way that we can, or that I can, acquire a knowledge that's going to get me through this challenge is I have to tap into the light, tap into truth, which is the Word of God. So I've been hearing everyone talk about strengthening their faith We have to have faith. We heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speak about faith has to be there with your will. And I got from that, the stronger the faith, the stronger the will. So the bigger the obstacle, you're going to have to have strong will, but also with that, coupled with that, you're going to have to acquire more faith. And where do you get that from? I asked myself that. Where do you get stronger faith from? And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan reminded us in chapter 2 in the Holy Quran that Allah am the best knower. So it communicated to me that in order for me to strengthen my faith, which will strengthen my will, I have to rely on Allah. And what does that mean? I have to let Allah speak through to me through His word. So I'm trying my best now, beloved, to humble myself, to know that I got my gifts from Allah, but I want to increase my gift. I want to increase my knowledge. I want to increase my faith. And I've been focusing on starting my day with the Word of God to increase my faith, to empower myself so that I can obtain the right knowledge, the right spirit, eat on the right food, like we talked about yesterday, that will strengthen my faith, strengthen my will, and inshallah, give me the wisdom and the knowledge to get through these new challenges. So that's all I have, beloved. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sister Randisha.
Yes, sir. So going back to my notes. When the minister said faith without substance, faith is the substance of things hoped for. I believe it say Assalamu alaikum, and a hypocrite does as well. When he was reading Holy Quran, Surah 2, he said, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, I am the best knower. He put, you have to express a loss. You have to keep seeing yourself as one. If you don't see that you lost weight on the first day, don't get discouraged. Keep on going with the program. As yesterday, me and my children, we were watching The Great Debaters. Yesterday was Movie Wednesday. And when, James Farmer Jr. came in and he was talking to his dad, James Farmer Sr., he said to him, Junior, what is the greatest weakness of man? He said, not believing, doubt. He said, that's it. Matthew 14:31. O you of little faith, why do you doubt? I was listening, Rasul had on Mother's Day, Rasul had told me to come outside. He said, Mommy, I bought you a Lambo for Mother's Day. And I just thought that for him to just believe that he bought me a Lambo for Mother's Day at the age of 5 is that he's not thinking small at all. He's thinking big from the beginning. And I was just thinking also as it relates to this, he had a little altercation at the park, right? But when we are raising our children to become gods and to come into themselves, right? He told me that he was able to handle it himself. He said, Mommy, you don't got to worry. I got this. So I said, okay, but they don't know that I'm watching them from a distance. But I have to have faith in them. I have to have faith in Allah that what I'm teaching them is what they are applying to their everyday life, as well as me, right? A couple of months ago, I went to a job interview and I found some errors in their writing, right? Because I like to read. So I read the fine print to everything. I'm talking about even the little fine print when it be like, law, SWC, da 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 da. I read that. I love to read. So, and it was at hospital, and I said to the woman, I said, "Oh, ma'am," I said, "Do you know that this has a few errors in it?" And, when she called me back, she said, I like that. But, I walked in there first off with little doubt in myself, right? And then I found these errors and they're like, oh, this Black woman came in here and found these errors. Maybe one of their white colleagues, whoever wrote it, they just wrote it all wrong, right? But to make a long story short, I told them, and they called me back, and she was like, we did have to move forward with another candidate, but she said, we don't need no one on our team that can point out the wrong. We need somebody that knows how to fix those things. I thought I was fixing it, right? I thought I was helping them. But so those are like little things that, stood out to me. Well, it's not little because this is thing we're always being tried. And as we evolve, the minister said, on every level, you have a different devil. So, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Dr. K.
Assalamu alaikum. It's interesting. I think you shared this message again, not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, maybe a little longer, but not too long ago, you shared this same message. And I can't remember exactly what I was going through then, but I think I was going through something with my daughter at that time. And you shared this message, and you're sharing it again. And I think you said before, it's so interesting how you can hear a message over and over again and pick up so many different things from it. So a couple testimonies. So I feel like I've been going through trials for like over, I don't know, 5, 10, man, I don't know how many years. And I promise sometimes I'll say to myself, man, I just don't, I don't see no light. Like I see it's like trial after trial after trial after trial after trial after trial over and over and over again. And I try to stay consistent. I'm like, why am I keep going through not the same trial, but it'll be one trial and then I'm hit with a different trial. Then I'm hit with a different trial. I had a really, really, really dear friend of mine who passed away a few months ago. And a beautiful sister who was so humble, so giving. And the thing is, she struggled all her life, like from birth. She always struggled. And she continued to stay positive. And I remember when she was going through the journey of having cancer. And I mean, I would be in prayer, constantly in prayer and, thinking that I was having faith and believing that through, keep up prayer and all these things that Allah would bring a healing, but she actually passed away. And for a while, I kind of struggled like, man, this sister has never had anything. I mean, when I look at it, meaning she struggled financially, she struggled with her relationship, she struggled, everything. And then Allah brought her back to him. And for a while, I was like, not necessarily angry per se, but just like, oh my gosh, like why? Like, why would she, why? And when, even when I listened to this message and Allah said, do you think because you believe and because, you are a believer that you won't be tried? You might be tried. You'll probably be tried the most, And so when I see that, and then I try to think like, okay, what does it all mean? And I don't know. I don't really feel I have an answer. I don't feel like maybe I'm supposed to. A lot of times we don't. A lot of times we may not even see. Like I always say, I don't see the light. You know how you said when you were shooting, when you saw some, like some action or you saw some type of results. You saw the ball go in the hoop. Sometime it helped to increase the faith, but you might not get the ball to go in the hoop. Are you still going to have faith? Like, how many times do we say out of our mouth, okay, I got faith, I have faith. But really, in actuality, we don't. Or are we able to see the blessing through death? Are we actually able to see the blessing through death? Are we actually truly able to see the blessing through suffering? And I was talking to my husband because the trials that we are facing, it interferes with our relationship as husband and wife. And then sometimes, I've been to almost to the edge where I'm like, oh man, like, does it mean that this is not supposed to be, or does it mean that I'm supposed to keep going on, or like, what does it all mean? Trying to really try to figure out. Or if you don't have the answer, can you keep going? You know what I mean? And that's not easy. But anyway, I just say all that to say, it's not easy. But the one thing I think Brother Daniel said, the one thing that helps me to stay striving, and I won't say my faith is always strong, because it isn't. I won't say that I'm always patient, because clearly I'm not. Even when I think I am, I'm not, But the one thing that helps me to stay grounded and stay moving is, of course, Allah, but having the people around you, like getting on this power call. Just having that, it just helps me to keep striving, even when I don't see it, even when I sometimes do doubt, because I do doubt sometimes, even when my faith is challenged, even when I don't have a lot of patience, because it hurts physically, mentally, emotionally, it hurts. It's hard. It's really, really hard. It's hard to be faithful. It is hard. Without my tribe around me, without the people around me saying, hey, I get it. I'm there with you. Or, hey, I don't know how, but we're going to do it. Hey, I don't know when, but it's going to come. Without that around you, how important that is. So anyway, thank you for letting me share.
Praise be to Allah. And we're closing out with Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. I'll be quick. It's kind of a hard point to express, but when I was expressing what I was going through, it came to my mind that I have to express what I found the answer to be, to come up out of that doubt. I was reading the tweets, the volume 1 and 2, and I think there's a 3 and 4 out. It's beautiful to read that, because there's a lot of profound questions. And the minister answered those questions like quick, fast, in a hurry, and got right to the solution. Somebody asked him, when you're disconnected from God, how do you get back connected? The minister said, first, you got to find out what Allah's will is for you. Then once you find out what that will is, you begin to do that, to do his will. I learned that my doubt and my dissatisfaction had a lot to do with, if not completely to do with, my disobedience. Somehow I expected Allah I'm supposed to submit to God. Somehow I thought that I can come as I am and stay as I am, and Allah is supposed to just, okay, you stay, keep company with me, stay as you are. The minister said we have to be in our right mind. We have to move from truth and righteousness, and we have to be in our right mind. And it's that truth and righteousness, of which Allah is the complete apex of, that we have to begin to reflect their righteousness in our own being. So I had to believe that I can overcome certain impediments that was keeping me back. So the minister said he believed our people can be resurrected. Do I believe I can be resurrected? Do I believe that the teachings can transform my life and take me out of an animal stage into a human stage, then to a divine stage? God knows it. I don't know. But I'll never know until I submit it begin to reflect something of God, then I can say, I didn't know I could do this in this world. So the importance of knowing God's will and doing God's will and submitting is very, very key to manifesting the greatness of ourselves. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And then Sister Randisha, if you can give us the announcement for tonight, if there's any announcements. Why is it so dark? Is there an eclipse? Sister Randisha, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So tonight the sisters call will be taking place. The Zoom is inside of the school app, so please make sure that you go under calendar to actually look for the Zoom link. The call will be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you do not have a message to the Black man, please let us know in the sister chat. We look forward to seeing you all tonight.
All right. And please make sure you go to www.thepowercall.net to access what she just talked about and to access the information for the get together we have going on in June. The hotel information and all that good stuff is pinned to the top. www.thepowercall.net. If you have not been in the school app community, please make sure you look at those posts that are pinned so that you can get the information. We have the PDF there where you can view the hotel, the location, and the discount rates and all that type of stuff. What about the men's class? When is it starting? I'll give you guys an update on that soon. Give me inshallah before the end of this month. We should have something like that together. Thank you for the reminder. So yeah, thank you all. I want to put something in the chat for y'all real quick. Those of you all who want access to the BWF replays, the replays is available. I know some of y'all got the text message. I sent it to y'all. I know everybody don't be checking the text message, so let me try to get that to y'all real quick. Hold on. Let me try to get this to you. Man, it's really dark where I'm at, man. I'm about to go back to sleep. All right, hold on. Let me try to get this. Is my internet moving slow? What's going on here? Did I spell it wrong? All right, here we go. All right, so I'm about to put it in the chat on YouTube and stuff, and Facebook, and then I'm about to put it in the chat on Zoom. So there it is. So there it is. Y'all go ahead and sign in. It's free. Check out those workshops, and we are gonna push it back a week, the launch, so we can make sure things are right and exact for you guys. So give us about one more week and we should be good to go. But that is where, if y'all can share that out as well. So if y'all know anybody personally who you know can benefit from those workshops that you all attended, please share it with somebody that you know. They are free to rewatch. So take notes and see again, as always, how you can apply it to your life. Assalamu alaikum, and y'all have a blacktastic day.
Is Brother Ben here? Brother Ben. Now, Ben got a heck of a program. A lot of people listening to Brother Ben. And Ben tells them about the minister. And Ben tells them about the minister.